We all love a good illusion, right? There's something inherently fascinating about watching the impossible unfold before our eyes. Whether it's a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat or making a coin disappear, these tricks captivate us and make us question the boundaries of reality. Vanishing acts, things that go beyond our understanding, and the sheer magic of it all. It's a spectacle that never gets old. The allure of the unknown, the thrill of the unseen, it all plays into our deepest curiosities and desires. Magic. It's not just about the trick itself, but the wonder it instills in us. The idea that there might be more to the world than what meets the eye. As a builder, I'm drawn to the challenge of making the impossible real. There's a certain magic in creation, in taking an idea that seems out of reach and turning it into something tangible. It's a process that requires not just skill, but imagination and a willingness to push the boundaries of what's possible. An invisible sword? That's about as impossible as it gets, and therefore irresistible. The concept itself is straight out of a fantasy novel, a weapon that can strike without being seen. It's the stuff of legends, and yet the idea of bringing such a thing into reality is a challenge that I couldn't resist. Movies make it look easy, special effects, CGI, a little editing magic, and suddenly, invisible swords are everywhere. But behind the scenes, there's a lot more going on. The technology, the creativity, the sheer amount of work that goes into making something appear invisible on screen is staggering. Invisible swords everywhere. But what if we could take that concept and bring it into the real world? What if we could create a blade that was not only see-through, but also strong enough to be used as a real weapon? But could you actually build one? A blade that's both see-through and strong enough to handle like a real weapon? The idea seemed almost ludicrous at first, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that it was a challenge worth pursuing. It wasn't just about creating a cool object. It was about pushing the limits of what we believe is possible. That's the question that kept me up at night. The idea of holding something that seemed to defy the laws of physics, something that was both there and not there at the same time, was a concept that I couldn't get out of my head. It was a puzzle that needed solving, a mystery that needed unraveling. The idea itself was thrilling. The thought of creating something that had never been done before, something that would challenge not just my skills, but my understanding of materials and physics, was an exciting prospect. It was a project that promised to be as rewarding as it was challenging. To hold something seemingly not there, yet feel its weight, its potential, that's a powerful image. It's a concept that goes beyond just the physical object. It's about the idea of potential, of unseen possibilities. It's about believing in something that you can't see but can feel and know is there. It's about pushing boundaries, not just of materials, but of what we believe is possible. It's about challenging our perceptions and expanding our understanding of the world around us. It's about taking something that seems impossible and making it real. Of course, a project like this isn't just about the end result. It's about the journey, the process of discovery and creation. It's about the challenges you face along the way and the solutions you come up with to overcome them. It's about learning and growing as you work towards your goal. It's about the journey, the problems you bump into, the solutions you invent along the way. Each obstacle is an opportunity to learn something new, to think creatively, and come up with innovative solutions. It's a process that requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to keep pushing forward, even when things get tough. That's where the real learning happens. It's in the moments of struggle and frustration, in the times when things don't go as planned, that you learn the most. It's in those moments that you discover new techniques, new ways of thinking, and new possibilities. And let me tell you, this project was one heck of a learning experience. It challenged me in ways I never expected and taught me more than I could have imagined. It was a journey of discovery, of pushing boundaries, and of making the impossible real. And in the end, that's what it's all about, taking the stuff of dreams and turning it into reality. The first hurdle, finding the right material. Invisibility, or at least the illusion of it, hinges on transparency. We needed something that light could pass through without too much distortion. Glass was out, too brittle. Acrylic, while clearer, lacked the toughness we needed. We considered resins, even experimented with exotic polymers. Each had its own quirks, its own limitations. It was time to dig deeper. We needed a material that wasn't just transparent, but also incredibly strong. A material that could hold an edge, withstand impact, and not shatter on the first swing. That's when we stumbled upon polycarbonate. Polycarbonate, the stuff of bulletproof glass, riot shields, and invisible swords. It's known for its incredible strength-to-weight ratio. Plus, it's clearer than acrylic and can be molded into complex shapes. Sounds perfect, right? Well, almost. While polycarbonate is amazingly tough, it does have some drawbacks. It scratches easily, for one. And getting a truly sharp edge? That's a whole other challenge. We started by experimenting with different thicknesses. Too thin, and the blade would be too flimsy. Too thick, and it would lose its transparency, becoming more of a translucent club. After some trial and error and a few broken prototypes, we found a sweet spot. A thickness that offered a balance of strength, clarity, and a somewhat believable blade profile. Now, the real work could begin. Shaping polycarbonate isn't like working with wood or metal. You can't just carve it or grind it into shape. Heat is your friend here. Lots of heat. We built a custom mold, carefully shaping it to create the double-edged blade we envisioned. Then came the tricky part, heating the polycarbonate sheet just enough to make it pliable, but not so much that it bubbled or burned. It was a delicate dance, a constant back and forth between heating and shaping. Too much pressure, and the blade would warp. Too little, and it wouldn't take the shape of the mold. After several frustrating attempts, we finally pulled a perfectly formed blade from the mold. It was transparent, surprisingly light, and even had a satisfying heft to it. It was starting to look like a real sword, but could it cut? Here's the thing about polycarbonate. It's tough, but it doesn't hold an edge like steel. Sharpening it is like trying to sharpen a gummy bear. We tried everything. Traditional sharpening stones, diamond files, even a belt sander equipped with ultrafine grit. Each attempt resulted in a smoother edge, but nothing remotely sharp. We even consulted with professional knife makers. They admired our enthusiasm, but gently suggested that maybe, just maybe, polycarbonate wasn't the ideal material for a cutting tool. In the end, we had to compromise. The edge of our invisible sword wouldn't be sharp in the traditional sense. It would be more of a blunt, beveled edge, capable of delivering a solid whack but not slicing through anything. With the blade complete, it was time for the ultimate test. How would it hold up under pressure? Now we weren't about to start dueling with our polycarbonate creation, but we did want to see how it would perform against some everyday objects. We lined up some targets, water bottles, cardboard boxes, a few unsuspecting melons. Hey, a builder's gotta have some fun, right? The results were interesting. The sword swung through the air with surprising ease. It shattered water bottles, cleaved through cardboard, and even made a satisfying thud when it connected with the melons. But there were limitations. The blade flexed more than we'd like, and it definitely wouldn't be winning any cutting competitions. Still, it held together remarkably well, proving that polycarbonate could take a punch. While our invisible sword may not have been the mythical weapon we'd dreamed of, the build process was full of unexpected discoveries. For one, we learned that polycarbonate is far more versatile than we initially thought. Its ability to be molded into complex shapes opens up a world of possibilities for makers and inventors. We also discovered that even seemingly impossible projects can teach valuable lessons. We learned about material properties, fabrication techniques, and the importance of adapting to unexpected challenges. The failures along the way were just as important as the successes. They forced us to think outside the box, to question our assumptions, and to push the boundaries of what we thought was possible. So our invisible sword may not be gracing the walls of a museum anytime soon, but the journey taught us a lot about the potential of polycarbonate. This incredible material is already used in countless applications, from eyeglasses and safety goggles to greenhouses and riot gear. But its unique properties make it ideal for so much more. Imagine lightweight, transparent furniture that's nearly indestructible, or shatterproof windows that can withstand extreme weather conditions, or even medical implants that are both strong and biocompatible. The quest to build an invisible sword may have started as a whimsical challenge, but it ended up being a glimpse into the future of materials science. As we continue to explore and innovate with materials like polycarbonate, who knows what incredible creations we'll dream up next? The possibilities, like our invisible blade, are almost limitless. The invisible sword may remain a fantasy for now, but the spirit of innovation it represents is very real. And that's something worth celebrating. This build may be done, but my mind's already racing with new ideas. Maybe a suit of polycarbonate armor, or a transparent kayak, or how about well, let's just say there's no shortage of challenges out there for a curious builder. The important thing is to keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Who knows what amazing discoveries await us just around the corner. Until next time, keep building.